Perkins Coie brought suit against the Trump administration yesterday because of an executive order the president signed targeting them. It suspended security clearances for Perkins Coie attorneys as well as their access to federal buildings, all because they represent clients the president doesn't like. It also cited their diversity efforts inside the firm. The firm called it a, quote, direct and imminent threat to their ability to represent clients, to their ability to stay in business. Late today, a judge agreed, and then some. Quoting from the bench ruling, Judge Beryl Howell called Trump's order a, quote, punishment for a singled-out entity being disloyal. She went on to say when, quote, the Queen of Hearts yells off with their heads for her subjects, that it cannot be the reality we are living under. For what comes next, I want to bring in Jeffrey Toobin, former federal prosecutor and the author of The Pardon, the Politics of Presidential Mercy. What is your reaction to the judge's ruling?
You know, Anderson, I've heard a lot of court rulings, but I have never heard a judge declare something unconstitutional in so many different ways. She said this was a violation of the First Amendment free speech rights. She said it was a violation of the right to counsel. She said it was a right to it was a violation of due process. She said it was a bill of attainder, which means it was specifically targeted against one entity, this law firm. I mean, it was just a complete destruction of this executive order for now. But, you know, Judge Beryl Howell, very respected judge, she's an Obama appointee. In this case, is going to move through the appellate process. It may have a different fate.
Is it possible this will end up in the Supreme Court?
I think it really may, because there was such a clear conflict between the Trump Justice Department lawyer who was arguing, who was basically saying, you know, we don't have to give a reason why we exclude this. We are excluding.
Right. He was saying that the president has the right to go after any company or any individual that he feels is a threat.
And you don't have, and the president doesn't have to give a reason. It can be a good reason. It can be a bad reason. And Judge Howell made a very interesting argument. She said, you mean you could go after Williams and Connolly, which was the law firm representing Perkins Coie. You could go after them for representing Perkins Coie. And the Justice Department lawyer sort of danced around, but basically said, yes, this is entirely in the discretion of the president. And this conflict about the scope of presidential power is what all of these conflicts are really about. The Elon Musk cases, where, you know, can the president's designee, Elon Musk, go in and fire all these people? All of these are about the scope of presidential power, and that's what the Supreme Court is going to have to resolve.
Yeah, I mean, what was it? Their judge, as I mentioned, that the lawyer's argument, the government's lawyer's argument from the Department of Justice, she said it sent a chill down her spine. Essentially, these law firms are saying that this is going to destroy their business because part of the idea of this clearly is to intimidate companies from hiring these firms. Not related even to, you know, anything the company might have with the Trump administration.
And it came out in court that Perkins Coie has already lost clients. I mean, this executive order is less than a week old, but they have lost clients. And you can understand the client's position. It's like, how are you going to represent me if you can't even go in to visit the Securities and Exchange
Commission? And if some major company is going to hire this firm, and then the president is going to attack that company just because they're hiring this firm.
Right, and that's why Judge Howell, who was really very outspoken and thoughtful about this, said, you know, this is a threat to all of the legal profession in America. Notably, though, and this is consistent with what's going on in the whole country, very few law firms and very few sort of prominent lawyers have spoken out against this publicly, and Williams and Connolly deserves a lot of credit because they weren't afraid to take. Well,
also, I got pushback from Republicans, you know, who saw the stuff we've been doing that's on the side. Well, look, this is payback. This is fair play. Look, they went after Trump. This is not. This is a law firm that is representing people. It's as if, you know, a Democratic administration would take away the law licenses or go after the firm that represented President Trump in all the legal cases he's been facing.
Correct. And that's not what I mean, you can argue.
The Trump lawyers had security clearances. They weren't taken, their security clearances weren't taken away.
They weren't taken away. And this idea that you can go after lawyers is very new, and at least according to this judge, very scary.